Hello everybody, we've been listening to the very first album by El Cachivache Quintetto. You might wonder why I'm always turning on some kind of modern music, not the classical tango. The reason is very simple, because all the Golden Age tango has copyrights, and if we upload this video on Facebook, it might warn us that you are infringing the copyrights and all that. And all the modern musicians don't care about their copyrights. For example, El Cachivache for sure, so you can use their music anywhere and it's gonna be okay. Besides, I just love the guys. They're very talented musicians and they have a very special approach towards the music of tango. Why not? Okay, good morning, Yolanda Rice. Good morning, day, evening, night, everybody. Yes, that's true, because we have people here, well, I know for sure from Kamchatka, which is the same time zone as Australia, up to South Wales, which is pretty far. So yeah, we have lots of people from different places, and we are going to start our last class at the Tango Exercise Marathon, 2nd edition. Well, people are still assembling. Let's do the warm-up, and then I will discuss some theoretical moments. Yeah, again, let's do it with the music. Don't care too much. Just do whatever your body requires to get warm, because most of you really have the morning. Okay, let's do it with this milonga, for example.
Caminando por la calle, repiqueteando tu taquito en la vereda, marca compases de cadencia melodiosa de una milonga juguetona y callejera. Y en tu vaivenes pareciera que bailaras, así te miran y te miran lo que quieran, porque tú llevas en tu cuerpo la arrogancia y el majestuoso ondular de las porteñas. Tardecita criolla de límpido cielo, bordado de nubes, llevas en tu pelo finchita argentina, que es todo tu orgullo. Y cuánto sol tiene esos ojos tuyos. Criolla de límpido cielo, bordado de nubes, llevas en tu pelo la Argentina, que es todo tu orgullo. Y cuánto sol tienen esos ojos tuyos.
That's great. I actually don't need the chair. So, I think everybody who wanted to come has already come. Perfect. So, a very important moment I wanted to discuss with you is this. Which aspects do we really need in our technique to dance tango well and to enjoy the process? Well, personally, I have three: structure, connection, and relaxation. And personally, I am for the approach that they come in this very order. What do I mean? Let's start with the structure. Sometimes I can have my body tensed, but still, this is something. This is some structure I can work with. For example, I look like this, I'm very tensed, but it's okay. I can work with it. I can connect here, then relax here, and then I will be able to dance tango. If I have my body like this, there is no structure, and I can try to find some connection there, but I will need to create this structure first. And besides, if we don't have something to rely upon, if we don't have structure in our body, it's next to impossible to make it relax. That is why we have been working in this very order. So what do I mean in terms of structure? So this is the potential of the body to work. So I understand that my muscles are going to be working, and I'm going to be doing something. So I'm not relaxed here so that I need to get ready first. No, I'm already ready. So what are the points of connection? They are various, but the main ones we have just been talking about are, for example, connections inside our body center, our ribs closed, our hips closed. Yes, sometimes you hear the Argentinians say this term, closed hips. I've been wondering for a long time what this actually is. Yes, so how do I close my hips? And then I understood that they meant this movement we were doing last lesson. If you were not present at the class yesterday, just watch it in the recording. And only then comes the relaxation. For example, I can only relax my back if I have my core working, because they are antagonists. If my core is not working, the back takes all the tension. If my core is working, the back relaxes and my hips also relax. If I have my baseline, I can relax my free line. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it takes some work, but it is possible. If I don't have the baseline, it's not likely that this part will be free, because my body is not stupid. It needs balance, it needs security, and it's not going to relax any muscle if the body is using it. So first, structure, connection, then relaxation. And let's talk just a little bit more about these ideas of structure and connection. Very often we hear this term, expand your body. Let's think of what actually is the idea of this expansion. Again, this is not exactly something visible from the outside, because my embrace can have this form, but there is no expansion in it. I will move closer so that you could see me. Look, on the outer part, I'm okay, so hips to the back, chest to the front, ribs closed, back not tensed, arms forward, circle, but there is no expansion in it, there is no energy in it. One of my students calls this an empty body. We were dancing together, I was switching from one form to another, and I asked her, how do you feel the difference? She said, now you're empty, before you were not. So how do we get this not empty idea? I will use this thing to show. If you have anything like this at home, it's okay, you can use it. If you don't, it's also okay, you just have to imagine this. So look, yes, it's an elastic. If I have the form, but I don't have the expansion, I have no energy, I'm empty from the inside. So to fill it in, I just need to expand. Yes, you see the elastic, I'm stretching it just a little bit. But this already gives the content to my body. It gives the meaning to what I'm doing. Though I'm doing a very simple thing, I'm only moving my arms and shoulder blades and everything. It's maybe just half a centimeter, but this is a big difference. And if I do it without the elastic, it's not exactly visible. Right now I'm relaxed and empty. Right now I am expanding. You might see it or you might not. Empty, not empty. But this is something. Sometimes we can feel that our breath is driving our body. Like right now I'm empty, I'm breathing in, and expanding. And I feel like all this part is not empty. Let's try to do this a few times. If you have an elastic, good, do it with an elastic. If not, it's okay. And again, this is not fitness, so I don't need to push really. I just need to feel this idea of very, very little tension, very, very little, very subtle. Okay, I will say breathe in and breathe out to mean this, but you don't have to breathe the air into your lungs. It's like breathing of your body. So the foam is ready. Now fill it in with breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out and breathe in and breathe out, and without an elastic if you're using it, breathe in and breathe out and breathe in and breathe out. So normally we work in this breathe in condition. So this is the state where I'm ready to work, I'm ready to follow, I'm ready to relax some other part of my body and all that. Normally we say that the idea of expansion involves all of the joints in our body, maybe but for the minor ones like in the fingers and all that. So what we have to imagine is that we are really stretching the joints apart. Like this is the joint, I'm doing this. In all of the joints, in all of the, in the whole of the spine, in the shoulders, in the elbows, here, and it happens also in the legs, of course. So right here in the hip joints, in the knee, in the foot, I'm expanding. And here I'm expanding. And here in the hips happens actually the same idea. So what we were doing yesterday, going backwards, is just a little idea to help you create the same circular intention we had here, the same circular intention we have here. So it's like part of a hug, as if I'm trying to hug a person and have an extra pair of arms here. And they are trying to hug him. And this creates this circular intention in your hips. So you're expanding vertically and you're expanding horizontally in the whole of your body. Yes? So expanding here and going in here. Expanding here and going in here. You can use an elastic for the idea of the vertical expansion as well. So you have a baseline and you don't have this elastic. I will just come up for you to see, like this probably, like this. And you don't have this elastic stretched, so it's relaxed. And your body is relaxed. And when I'm ready to dance, I'm pushing the floor and I'm expanding from the floor and all of my joints are expanding. And it is now a little stretched. And I'm doing this not with my hands, I'm doing it with my whole body. And then in another part of my body, in the free line, I can go down. But here, I'm always stretching all of my joints. And thus I'm creating this movement upside and downside. And today we're going to talk more about this idea of stretching and grounding. And we're going to see how it works in our body. But at first we're going to have a little bit of Michael Jackson feeling. Because we're going to create a wave in our body. First, let's just do it technically, without any special idea. So what do? Our feet a little bit wide apart, and we're going forward with the knees, with the hips, with the belly, with the chest, and with the head. And then we're just relaxing and going back. So we're not creating this wave down, only up. So this wave, up. This wave, up. Not exactly up, it's like forward and up. Forward and up. Forward and up. Forward and up. Continue doing. This kind of an exercise is very good for your body to get rid of the muscle cramps and blocks in your joints. But we are going to use it for tango, I promise. But first, we really need to relax and grow there. Grow. Grow. Okay, we could do it with the music, but we're not going to do it long. That's why I think silence is okay. Good. Now, let's switch the axis to one of the legs. So another one is just here besides you. And again. Okay. And another axis. And think of this idea that we are expanding all of the joints. It's like they are going forward and expanding, 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 expanding. Ooh, a few more times. Great. Okay. So this idea of growing forward is something that we truly need for our tango, but it leaves us in a very not good condition, like this. Obviously, I can't dance tango like this, though I might have a try, of course, but it's not a good idea. So from here, we need to create a circular movement back there and go into the ground. So it's like in the front part, we are going up and forward and up, and in the back part, we are going back and down. So forward and up and back and down. Don't worry of having your back really round and your weight on your heels right now. Forward and up, and from here, back and down. And you will see that you can really push with your back towards your heels. So I have muscle tension here. It's important. I'm really pushing down there. Going forward and up and pushing here. Forward and up and push. One axis now. Forward and up and push. Forward and up and push. Forward and up and push. Now forward and up and push. And create here in this pushing, while you have this muscle tension, a little bit more of movement forward and up. And it's okay, right now all of the muscles of the body are working. So I will move closer. At the same time from my leg, I'm stretching forward and up and going down and pushing down. And I have all my body very tensed. And now when I do this, I'm going to release the muscles and relax. And nothing is going to happen because right now my body is balanced. Let's see what's going to happen if I do the click my, how do you call it? Slap the fingers, click the fingers, I don't know. I will clap. So let's see what happens when I relax at some other point. For example, I have this movement forward and up and I relax. Do you see what's going on with my body? Or I have this movement forward and up and just down there and pushing. This is going to happen when I relax. So only when I have at once forward and up, backwards and down, and all this constantly going on in my body, when I relax, nothing is going to happen. In fact, something happens. Let's see. Forward and up, backward and down, very stressed, and my free line is now tense too. When I clap, it falls down because I no longer need the muscles there. But my standing line remains exactly the same. So this is the idea we really need to achieve to dance tango without any extra muscle tension. So which muscles in my body right now are actually working? The core and the adductor. That's all. The rest are more or less relaxed. So let's do it all the same in the other line. So we have it forward and up. And we really press backwards and down. We really press there. And relax. Forward and up, backward and down. Really pushing. Forward and up, backward and down. Forward and up, backward and down. Forward and up, back and down. Forward and up, back and down. Here I'm pushing with my muscles, they're very tensed. And here I'm creating more of this forward and up movement. and backward and down. And at some moment I'm just relaxing. And nothing happens. I'm just getting more grounded, but nothing happens. Let's do the same. I'll just face you. Okay, forward and up, backward and down with the muscles. A little bit more up, forward and up, and relax. And again, forward and up, backward and down, and relax. And again, forward and up, backward and down, relax. Of course, when we're really experienced, we can get into this relaxed forward and down, backward and down condition at once. It's like, I want to dance with this guy. This happens automatically when I stand in a couple. Yeah? But to achieve this, we need to understand what's going on in my body. So like in my baseline, there's this vector forward and up, backward and down, always going at once, and afterwards relaxes my free line. It doesn't matter whether it is here or somewhere else. Let's see how we can use this movement for tango. Or maybe let's do this a few more times with the music. Yes, let's first of all do it with the music a few more times, so the idea will be the same. Forward and up, backward and down, creating this balance and relaxing. And then switching the line and doing the same and relaxing. Just make a pause between these three stages, okay? So be very conscious of what you're actually doing. Music. Let's try this one. I've never heard it. Maybe.
Soy de ese barrio de humilde rango. Yo soy el tango sentimental. Viejo baluarte de la rama.
Okay, good. What we are going to do now is try to make this movement very small. Because of course in real life I'm not doing this. I'm just having this inside my body. So it's not exactly visible for anyone else. So we'll do the same thing up to the end of the song. Just do it inside your body. Don't make it too visible, but find these lines in your body. Forward and up, backward and down, a little bit more forward and up. And then relaxation. Forward and up, backward and down, a little bit more forward and up, and then the relaxation. And maybe some of them will happen automatically. Like when I do this inside my body, I have forward and up, backward and down, more forward and up, and I don't need much more relaxation. I'm already pretty much relaxed. So personally, I don't like dancing too relaxed. No, I don't need this. So let's see how it works. But find all these vectors. That's important. Until the end of the song.
Donde florecen como glicinas las lindas pibas del delantal, donde en la noche tibia y serena su antiguo aroma vuelca al balcón, y bajo un cielo de luna llena duermen las chatas del corralón. Soy de ese barrio de humilde rango, soy ese tango sentimental. Soy de ese barrio que toma mate bajo la sombra que da el parral. En sus ochavas, compadre de mozo, dejé la daga por un loco amor que ven los ojos de una maneva toda la ceba de mi pasión.
guys, you're doing pretty well, many of you. So, from almost every teacher at the marathon and in tango, you hear this word push. Push the floor, push, I don't know, push. What do we actually mean by this push? Of course, everybody means his own stuff. But on the whole, this is the idea of this connection with the body we've just been finding with this downward movement. So it starts with my shoulder blades and my lower ribs. So right here in this line, in this level, and I'm pushing towards the floor, and I need to have all of these points connected. Ribs, hips, knees, ankles. If I have some part of it disconnected, for example, I have my ribs open. This is what we were doing at the first lesson. I cannot push with the shoulder blades fully because my back muscles are too much toned and this pushing doesn't really go down. So I close my ribs and this pushing goes until the hip. If my hips are open, they're going outside, then this pushing goes only until the line of my hips, it doesn't go down. If I have my lips closed and connected with the ribs, then this pushing goes until the knee. Then comes the knee. Of course, if the knee is blocked, it's going only until the knee. Oops, it even hurts the knee. Ouch. So you need to have your knee relaxed as well and reacting. And like this, we have this whole line of pushing, which we use for projection, for step, and whatnot. Interesting, yeah? So the knee is an important part in this connection, but if you don't have your knees connected, still this pushing won't really work. So the whole line, the whole line, the whole line, and it doesn't matter where we are going. So it's the whole of my baseline always expanding and always pushing, because when we are standing, we already have this pushing, and we are just making it stronger to go somewhere or to do something. Now comes the interesting part. Let's see how we can use this wave idea for almost any movement in tango. First of all, again, a little bit of Michael Jackson. We're going to do this. Wave upwards, and when we're ready, we are turning it into a step forward. And step forward. I know it looks weird, just have fun. Boom, e, boom, e, boom, e, boom, e, boom, e, boom, e, boom. Let's do it with the music. Let's have some fun. Just feel this wave moving your body. My master of Tai Chi called it wave walk. Yeah, so it comes from Eastern practices, not from Michael Jackson really. So let's do it. Now, let's see what actually happens in our tango step. Super exaggerated. I'm taking this energy from the floor. It's the same movement, but inside my body. I'm taking this energy from the floor. I'm getting grounded and pushing. Isn't it the same? Getting the energy from the ground, ground it again, and pushing. And pushing. We just didn't have that much grounding, but we were getting this energy and then moving forward. So in tango, we do get this energy from the floor and push. Let's try the same idea, but smaller and inside your body. It's like, oof, I'm getting this from the floor. I'm having it inside my body and then I push. I'm having it from the floor and then I push. Yeah? It works the same. Do it a few times. Energy from the ground, grounding and push. Energy from the floor and push. Okay? A few more times. I'm showing it super exaggerated. Of course, in real life, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not. I'm just doing this and this. But I have the same lines in my body working. So this is what happens inside, but I'm going to show it big. From the floor, ground it and push. From the floor, ground it and push. And to the side, from the floor, grounding and push. So forward and up, backward and down and push. Interesting, isn't it? I'm not sure we need to work with the music right now. Let's see how it works back. So it's the same idea. First of all, we'll work with this funny wave. Forward and up, forward and up and step, forward and up and step, forward and up and step. With the music, a little bit of Michael Jackson. Have fun, yeah? Don't try to make it beautiful. Try to make it efficient and have fun. This is a must. Okay, something else by Kamchatka I want to hear, like, yes, this is super cool, I like it. I know this song by heart. We have performed it with them on stage, so we had to know it. Okay, so how does it work in tango? Let's see, super exaggerated. Getting the energy from the ground and pushing backwards. And thus, I'm super connected, super grounded, and all that at once. Once again, energy from the ground. And the difference is that before I was just, I don't know, not falling, but having this kind of movement with the wave. And right now, it's this kind of the wave. So I'm just changing the trajectory. You don't need to make it super big. I just want to show how this works. Because in normal life, making a small step in tango is even more difficult than making a big one. But the first one you can imitate like this. This is not a proper step, but I'm just imitating it. This kind of step is harder to imitate. That's why I'm using this one. And push. But first, I need to take this energy from the floor and then push. Let's try a few times the same idea with the tango step. Just be careful with anything behind you. Forward and up and push. Forward and up and push. Forward and up and push. Of course, in real life, you don't see this forward and up movement. You just see the connection with the body, with the floor. But where does it come from? This line in my body. So what we're going to do now is an exercise. We have like a place for 2 steps. I hope you do have. So first of all, we are going this weird wave. Choo, e choo, e choo, e choo. Then you are taking this wave back. So just one time forward, one time back. And then you are translating this wave into a step. Into a step. Again, into a stop, into a stop. And then again the weird wave. So you understand, once the wave, once the stop, once the wave, once the stop, with the music. Oops, okay. I think you understand the principle. Now, let's work as you feel it. If you feel like you're okay with the tango step and feeling this wave inside the tango step, it's okay. You can only do the tango steps. If you feel like sometimes you're losing this wave idea, try it like you've done several tango steps and then several waves. And then transmit it into the tango step. We have just half a song left. Great. You might ask me why we have been working with those ribs, contra body position, hips, if we just need to create the wave and push. The idea is that if you don't have this structure and this connection in your body, you won't be able to relax it enough to do the wave. So if you have your ribs disconnected and your hips disconnected, this kind of thing, creating this wave won't really help you to push. So look, I'll try to imitate it. It's hard for me. Yes, there is the wave, but I cannot fully push because my body is not working properly. So only have all these places of my body working, I can have this relaxed movement. So again, same works here. If I have my body two-toned and disconnected, I might try pushing backwards, but still this won't be the same kind of movements we need. Only have it connected here, connected here, connected here, then yes. And if you analyze your movement, you will feel that there is this natural contra body because it's natural. So you do a wave, you ground yourself, and when you do the stop, this rib does go forward. And this rib does go forward here, but it's very, very, very natural. So if you have already worked with it, you don't need to concentrate on that. We can't concentrate on all of the details of the step at once. It's just impossible for our brain. But we can concentrate on one thing we find most important, like before it was this connection of the rib to the hip. Then it was this pushing idea. So the connection of the hip to the center rather was. Right now it was the idea of taking this energy from the ground and pushing from the ground. But you can pay attention to what you really feel most appropriate right at this moment. Sometimes we need to really concentrate on this phase of the step when we have our weight on both feet to make our dance better. So it's not like I jump there. No, not of course. Right now we're using this to understand that our body is free and it's really moving and using the ground. But taking the energy from the ground, pushing there, and of course this is a very important part of the step and again we're using the ground to finish it. So yes, the point of concentration can be totally different. And if sometimes we feel like we are contradicting each other, no, we are not. We just think different phases most important. We have just a little time left. Let's think that this wave idea works for anything. I like working with it for ballet, for example, because for ballet, to exaggerate it, we are doing this, for example. So we're taking the energy from the ground and this lifts our free leg. It's like, oop, I have a wave here. Oop, I have a wave here. In normal life, it just looks like this, pushing the ground. But where does this pushing come from? Energy from the ground and back to the ground. If this is a circular ballet, so then we have this feeling when my center is moving my free leg. So what I'm doing is just changing the trajectory. So my center is changing the trajectory. My center and my standing leg. But it's all based on the same idea of getting this from the ground and back to the ground. It's the same with the backward movement. Again, I'm using this movement from the ground, the same wave, and it goes into my free leg, and in a certain moment, I'm pressing the ground more. But it's very similar to what we were doing with this kind of wavers. Yeah, do you remember last marathon? We were doing this to relax and to create the basic connections in the body. The waves are more difficult, of course, but the idea which lies in this is the same wave, from the ground and back to the ground. So if we do it very slow, it's like this. And then we can change the trajectory. You can try this at home. So whatever movement you choose, whether it's a lapis, for example, of course we can do it disconnected, but we can take this energy from the ground and always give it back to the ground. So just feel what kind of wave is created there. Just feel. There's always this circulation. What other movement can it be? I don't know. Because every movement in tango is either based on the step or like here an embellishment. That might be also a turn, yes? I'll just move to the floor. When we need to turn, it's again, we take the same energy from the ground and give it back to the ground. But here works more the spiral idea or anything, but still, the idea is the same. From the ground and back to the ground. From the ground and back to the ground. It's always the same, just the trajectory is a little bit different. But if you understand this principle, it also works for the change of weight, for example. From the ground, back to the ground. From the ground, back to the ground. So too exaggerated. From the ground, back to the ground. So up and getting grounded. So it's the basic principle for our movement. I hope you will think this idea interesting and you will try finding it in your own body. I know this might sound a little weird. This is not something we are used to in tango because when people grow up with this dance like the Argentinians do. They see tango from, I don't know, from being babies. They hear tango, they see everybody dancing around, and they don't need to think of all these connections in our body. This happens automatically. But if this doesn't happen automatically, then we can think of these deeper kind of connections and find them. Why not? Personally, I think it's a good idea. If you don't, you just had fun and imitated Michael Jackson. And by the way, if you did you notice that today after the lesson I look much better than before? That's because yesterday I was translating the makeup class by Anna Lebedeva. So I definitely recommend it, girls. See, I've just had a lesson and I look as if I have just done my makeup, so everything's in place and I like the way I look. So this was a little bit of advertisement. As this is the last class and there is no one following us right now, feel free to turn on the microphone and say something. I think the administrator will allow us a couple more minutes. I hope you're feeling good. I'm seeing all of you. That's awesome. Smiles, that's cool.
Hello, Olga. Thank you. That was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, thank you, Gary. Thank you. That's so good to hear from you.